Hello and welcome back to True Crime and Justice. Hi there, Michelle. Hope you had a lovely weekend. I've been a bit busy today. Been quiet all weekend, but I didn't get much done. But then today I thought I've got to do it. I've just got to do it. Now I used to love gardening, and I do love gardening, but I do not like that hover mower. I'd rather have a push-along one. Be a lot quicker, and it'll cut my grass a lot better. So I'm thinking of buying myself a lawnmower, because at the moment I'm using my son's hover mower, and that's okay for his garden. He's only got a little front garden and a little bit of grass in the back. I've got a big garden with a lot of grass at the front and at the back, and it's flipping. It took me 2 hours. 2 hours to cut the grass, and then just sweep up the patio area and get a few weeds up from there. And I mean just a few. And sweep it all up. 2 hours. I thought, for fuck's sake. I've got the front garden to do yet. Oh, God. And I've still got the slabs to do. But then tomorrow, my son is being and brought me some 6-foot canes. So I've got to go out and redo my sweet peas. And then put my canes up as I wanted them. And then put the wire mesh, like this chicken wire, around the canes. And then, so my sweet peas have got something to cling to when they're climbing up. And we just found out today my sunflowers aren't like the normal sunflowers. Yeah, mine are like these, like a lot of green leaves on it and one big head. So they don't grow very tall. You can't grow a weed. I grow plenty of weeds in my garden. Honest to God. And I asked my son to lower the cut on it. Why? Because I know it's not. All it does when it goes over my garden is knocks these, the dandelions. It knocks them over flat. And probably catches the heads of them. That's it. I need it lower so I can shut the fuckers off. So, and he said he'll come over later to do it for me. Didn't. He said, go, and then he does come over and go, oh, you've done your lawn. I went, wow, it's a good job I didn't wait for you, isn't it? So I managed to get my lawn cut at the back. So tomorrow he's coming with the strimmer, because don't give me a strimmer. I hate them. I hate the fuckers. Right. So he's going to do all my strimming around the edge of my garden and along this one bit along the side of my house, which is just weeds really. It needs to be dug over, but at the moment it's the least of my worries, that area. I just want it kept tidy, you know what I mean? So he's going to put the strimmer over that. And then I'm going to do some more of my slabs. But I've got a pile. Actually, I didn't sweep it all up. I've got a great big pile. I went along the edge of my house at the back to get the weeds away from the wall. You know, like grow up, yeah. Feckin' loads of them. I've got a great big pile. So I need to get a black bag, put them in a black bag so I can take it down to the bin and then just empty it in the bin. Because I'm not going to keep walking back and forth with a shovel full of this weeds and whatever. I'm going to drive the feckin' path. Soon get my steps in doing that. Feck's sake. So that's one job I've got to do tomorrow. Is get all those, put it in a black bag. Don't fill the black bag up. Just take the black bag going over to my brown bin. Tip the black bag out into the brown bin. Bring the black bag back and do the rest. I can get a lot more moved and a lot quicker. But so I did do some of that today. But I still got so much to do with my slabs. Because I spent a week doing my slabs, and then literally by the time I've done one end, got to one end of my garden with the slabs, the weeds are coming back up the other end. It's continuous. Continuous. 24/7. 352 days a year. Is it 352 days? I don't know. But it's never ending. Right? It's like those big bridges when you see the painters painting them. By the time they get to the one end, get to the end, they've got to start again. That's like my patio, my slab area. By the time I get all my weeds up and everything up, I've got to start again. Really? In between cutting the grass every week, because it's just grown like mad. Didn't have this problem last year, but then again, I did have a gardener coming, and he cut my grass every 2 weeks. And he used to swim around the edges and everything. It was brilliant. But I do like my gardening. And then he's going, you need to water these flowers, Mum. What's happening with you? I haven't got the energy no more. I'm too fucking knackered. I'm 60 years old. I'm knackered. But then the other day, Angie, who moved into her property, I brought a lavender plant and a pot. I love the pot. And I thought a lavender plant, she can have by this bench in her back garden. She only has to water it once in a blue moon. And I know she won't water it, so my son will probably water it. Right? I carried that pot from my son's house up the road, across to hers, in through her house, into her kitchen. Right? Now, that's me with a dodgy hand and a dodgy right arm. I can't pick anything up heavy. It hurts. It really does hurt my arm to pick anything up. I've got no... it's like all my muscle in my arms just gone like jelly. What does she do? Oh, she only had to take that pot from her back door to the bench right outside her back door. 2 feet. She doesn't do it. So what does my son do when he goes over? He takes it out. She even said to me, I'll get Simon to take that out for me. I said, get the fuck. Get the fuck. I said, you can pick that up and carry it out to that chair. But she doesn't. She acts, oh. But that's just Angie. You'll never change that. Then today, she gets him to take her to Home Bargains or B&M. And on the way back, I went past Farm Foods. This thing, can we just pop in here? I just need to get some stuff. My son told her, do not get a lot because we haven't got the space in the boot. Right? What does she do? Fills the trolley up, bags loads into the boot. It's like, I ain't got the space in the boot. He said, because we had our stuff in there, and then she's coming along with bags and bags and bags of shopping. I said, I told you to get a fucking taxi home. That's the case. Get a fucking taxi home, girl. Hi, Anne. So, yeah, I did have a bit of an upset on Saturday because I was due to have Ellis, my grandson. Now, my granddaughter don't want to come to my house. And to be honest with you, I don't want this sassy little fucker in my house. Because she won't stay. Because she knows she can get her mum and dad's just across the road. She wants to keep going home. Then she comes back. Then she goes home. Then she comes back. No, not having it. Right? If Angie wants to put up with that, fine. Let Angie put up with it. I'm not. Plus, Ellis didn't want her here on Saturday. So, I can. Well, Olivia then was going to go to her gran's for the night. Her other gran's. Because she's all a granny doggy at the moment. Right? Her mum's mum. Right? And I'm sitting here, I'm talking today about all this wood that my neighbour had given me. He gave me planks and planks and planks of wood. honest to God, it's brilliant. Saved me a fortune because I've doing my fence out the front, down the side of my house. Saved me an absolute fortune. Right? So something to do on the phone about it, and I'm video calling her so she could see what I was showing her. I'm sitting here, and Ellis comes in and goes, I want to go home. I went, you just go in the bedroom a minute. Just go and sit in the bedroom for a minute. Just go. I went, Dee, I phone you back. I goes in the bedroom. I said, what do you mean you want to go home? What's up? What's happened? He'd already put his tablet and everything in his bag to go home. That's how ready he wanted to go home. So I said, okay, you want to go home? I'm not going to stop you. I said, but why do you want to go home? I said, I don't understand. You're fine. You're sitting in here watching TV and you're on your tablet and everything. You just had a bath. You've had your dinner and everything. So why do you want to go home? This was the killer. This was the killer. The killer sentence. I want to go to my granny doggies. Oh, do you, Nan? Fine. Come on. Grabbed his bag, shuffled him out the door, shuffled him across the road to his house. Went in, put his bag down. I went, say thank you to your mum because now my grandkids don't want to stay with me because she's got a nice bedroom they can play in. Carpeted, blinds up, curtains up, everything. Right? Because she's got that nice bedroom. They don't want to spend time with me no more. So say thank you to your mum for hyping her house up for me and walked out. I get a message off my son and he said, what was it Ellis said and done? I said, Ellis, for you to bring him home, for you to send him home. I said, I didn't send him home. He wanted to come home because he wanted to go to Granny's, his other Granny's. Well, he's not going to his other, and then he's messaged me back saying, well, he's not going to his other Gran's. Fine, that's your choice, not mine. Right? Then about half hour later, Tracy comes over to get his tablet charger and everything. And he'd come with that. She made him come over with her. And he walked in and he stood there and went, I'm sorry, Gran. I went, but what are you sorry for, Ellis? He said, for what I said. I said, I've got no problem with you wanting to go home. I said, I've got no problem if you want to go to your Gran's. But the problem I've got is you had no problem being here before. But now all of a sudden your Gran's got this nice house and it's a nice cottage, all decorated, nice little room. Carpet's about, 18 months, 2 years old. Right? Blinds, curtains up in the bedrooms. All she's got to buy is bunk beds. That's it. Right? And I said, you hurt my feelings because you turned around and said you'd rather spend it with Granny Dog. They call her Granny Dog because she had 2 dogs. And I said, so it hurt my feelings. He said, I'm sorry. And he said, right, can I go to Granny Dog's now to his mum? And his mum said, no, we told you. You're not going to your Granny Dog's, you're going home. So you either stay here or you go home. I want to go to Granny Dog's. Said, well, we'll go home then. And he's adamant he wanted to go to Granny Doggy's. I thought, fine, feck off. But you see, I did tell him, he said something, he said, I'll stay next time. I said, there won't be a next time, Ellis, for you or Olivia. There is no next time. And I come back and I sat here and I thought, why am I contemplating spending hundreds of pounds doing that bedroom up for them? I've got to get 2 new mattresses straight away for the bunk bed. I've got to get the insulated wallpaper for the 2 walls. That is not fucking cheap. And they don't get much in a roll. Right, so I've got to get about 10 rolls of that at what? £5-6 a roll. Then I've got to get underlay on the floor. Then I've got to get a lino on the floor. Then I've got to paint it, the walls, and let's do all the windows and the ceiling. Right? And I thought, why am I doing that if they don't want to stay here? I might as well just turn that into a little office for myself and a room where I can do my crafts like my diamond art and my engraving and all that lot. That way I don't have to buy new mattresses. I can sell the bunk beds. Don't have to buy new mattresses. I don't have to get the what's the name wallpaper. I can just paint the walls, put a few shelves up, voila. Put some lino down without the underlay. I won't need to spend all the extra money to get that room warm and cosy for them. So, hi Neuro. So, he said, well, I want to stay here. I said, do you want to stay here because you want to, or is it because if you don't stay here, you've got to stay at home? That's the question. I said, because if you were only staying here because you don't want to be at home, but you'd rather be at your Evergrands, then just go home. Because he upset me earlier on in the week when he said what he did to me about me being, I don't know nothing, I'm stupid. And Angie, who's in the room when he said it, said feck all to him. Right, so that pissed me off. And so he did apologise. And he said, no, I want to stay here, Gran. I said, okay. Okay, that's fine. So he stayed eventually. Well, that other creator what's popped up when we were in live saying aliens are real, and I was what's going on. It was all over in here. Yeah, I seen that new. I seen that. So we're going to look at the files today. We're not going to look at every file. I'm not looking at every file. There's too fucking many of them, right? But I just think it vindicates all those. And just go back to 1947. There's a letter in the second file, which is dated 1947. So, but these ones that we're looking at tonight are basically all 1966, the year I was born. Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll check that. I haven't checked my emails for a couple of. Well, did I check them earlier? No, I didn't check. Did I check them yesterday? No, I didn't even come on at all. Right, let's have. Damn it. Come on, open up the file for me. Why is it not opening up? It's not opening up. Won't open up for me. I've downloaded it. It says I have to download, so I've downloaded it. It will open up for me. So it's not opening up for me. I'll try again later. But I just think it vindicates all those who are made to look stupid, bat crazy, everything. It vindicates them all. But it does make me wonder why now. Why now? And as I said in my last live on Friday, I believe, yeah, I think it's a distraction. There's something else about to go down, and it's a distraction. Oh, you know this new virus that's out, right? I'm sure it's my son who said, oh God, a couple of months ago, was talking about viruses and COVID and all that. And he said, yeah, but he said, they'll bring a new one out. There'll be a new one out soon. I said, well, I can shove their COVIDs and viruses up the rear end. I said, I'm not isolating no more. I'm not going to staying. Well, I don't go out in but I'm not going to be wearing the stupid masks unless I have to. If, say, I go to Asda and they say you have to wear a mask, then I'll wear one. Right? But otherwise, I'm not going to be walking around the streets with the masks on. I am not. We went through 2 years of hell. I didn't see my daughter for, 9, 10 months? It was horrendous. I didn't see my grandson. I only had him on video calls and things like that. So, I wouldn't have to worry about that this time. But I'm not going through it all again where I've got a mask up every time I go in a shop or when I get on a bus or just walking up the road in case someone goes hit on me. If my time comes, my time comes. Simple as. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And a lot of people have been, about this UFO thing, a lot of people have been saying, this is nothing new to them. This isn't new to them. They've always believed there's been ever life form and all that. So to them, it's nothing new, which is true. A lot of people have believed there was other life forms. I've always said there's got to be another life form somewhere, either in this, right, one of the planets that are around us, or in another diverse dimension. There's got to be. We can't be the only life form. Bob Laser. Oh, I meant to watch that. I meant to watch that. I didn't get round to it. Anyway, let's just share the documents. This one. This one. Hopefully it'll open up and it come up on the screen. What the hell? Why am I getting a blank screen? Ah, thank you. Thank you. This is one of 184 pages, and this is just one file. One file. But a lot of these letters we see here are people sending in information about sightings into the FBI, and they just keep repeating themselves. They have no control over that information. You know what I mean? But we'll have a look at some of them. But here's one. This is just, I'm going to right there. Just like a stamped every time it's been looked at. You know what I mean? Then we've got this one. Right, and I'm going to zoom in. And it's got several signatures and dates on. This is 1966, September the 6th, 1966. And it says, Dear Mrs. Dow, your letter of August the 31st with enclosures has been reviewed and I appreciate the interest which prompted you to write. In response to your inquiry, this Bureau is strictly an investigative agency of the federal government, and as such, hold on. What? Yeah. Bye. Oh, that was my daughter-in-law, right? And it says neither makes evaluations nor draws conclusions as to the character or integrity of any organisation, publication, or individual. I am sorry I cannot be assistance to you. However, you may be sure your communication will be made a matter of record. Right? And this was sincerely yours, John Edgar Hoover, the director. Right? Now this is, I think, the back of that letter, and it's just got different dates stamped on it. The 7th, the 6th, the 6th, the 7th. Right? True copy. This is a true copy. J. E. Hoover, FBI Director, Washington, D.C. Dear Sir, I am a member of NICAP, and am very much interested in UFOs, flying saucers. And I think when they use that term, flying saucers, I think a lot of people thought like they was flat with a round nest in them. Because when you hear people talk about UFOs, it was always this flat, like a circular thing which went up in the middle. Yeah? Like the flying saucers, the sweets we used to have in the UK. Several weeks ago, a fellow employee received a letter, business, from Arizona with a stamp on the back, see enclosed. Being interested in UFOs, I asked for the stamp and sent $3 for the 12 issues of IFSCI. Having received and read my first issue, I feel it isn't just what appears on the surface. I can't say why, but with my limited idea of how communists operate, it strikes me it is backed by them. My reason for writing this is that I consider myself a true American. I am told my ancestors go back to a GR great-great-great-grandmother who was an Indian squaw, and I'm proud of it. If by writing for this AFSCA report, my name could in any way be aligned with the Communist Party, I'd like to know if there is any way I can get things straightened out. I might be all wrong about my interpretation of this report, but I'd like to be sure, since I expect I will get other issues as they come up. I will be 63 years old in a few days. Okay. Well, you're dead now, aren't you? Because that's another 60 years. That make you 123 now. My husband passed away 40th the 3rd, 65. I have worked as manager of range department for the NH Insurance NH Insco in Manchester, Norfolk, for 4 years this month. Right? And I'm thinking, what the hell? New Nation, they offered money to give exact details of how aliens should be. I think, in my opinion, Spielberg was paid to do E.T. with their direction. Mind is E.T. is so similar. Well, when you look at this report, these files, and you hear of the descriptions they're all giving out. Now, they're all individuals, they've never met each other, right? They are all giving out the same sort of description of these aliens. 3 foot, 4 foot tall. You know what I mean? And things like that. Apart from one who says he was took away, put in one of their ships, and they had clothes on just like we will. Now I got to thinking, hey, this is just me. This is me going a loopy. I got to thinking, have you ever thought that aliens see us? Like we see them as little men with big eyes and long arms and fingers, yeah? But have you ever thought they see us like that? Little men, little people, big eyes, long arms, long fingers. You know what I mean? You ever watch E.T.? Oh, I did. E.T. phone home. Right? And it just got me thinking, I thought, do they see us like that? Because that's what we see them as. Do they see us like that? Oh, you need to watch E.T. It's so cute. So, that's just my way of thinking. Do they see us like we see them? Anyway, let's get on to the next one. Right? This is her letter. Right? And I think they've just had it typed up. August, yeah. Right? But this is her letter here. As I said, there's a lot of blank things. Then we've got all this about newspaper articles, amalgamated flying saucer clubs for Americans, and but you see what I mean when I say I like a circle with a like the roundness on the top. But this is July 6. No, this is the year of 66. Good year that. 60 years ago. But this is just newspaper articles and articles in a magazine. And things like that. Conventions, flying saucer quakes linked. Boy is burned by flying ship. PC reports, I saw 6 flying saucers. And it's someone like that. Police constable, would that be in the UK, PC? Because they're not called police constables in the US, are they? Or are they? They're not, are they? So, but someone like him, he'd be made out to be, yeah, really? How much did you have to drink last night? Sort of thing. I'm not saying there isn't some hoax people saying they saw this or whatever, but there's a lot who did, I believe. More than 5 million people say they saw flying saucers. This is what is this? This is a memorandum. Director of FBI Flying Saucers International, official journal of the Amalgamated Flying Saucer Club of America. Ah. See again, your letter of October 9th has been received. With respect to your inquiry, matters pertaining sightings of unidentified flying objects or flying saucers are not within the jurisdiction of the FBI. So really, everyone who wrote to the FBI would get a letter like this back to them. But at least they got a letter back. Yeah, you just get feck all. So who do they get in touch with then? You know what I mean? They don't say, well, we'd advise you, we can direct you to get in touch with such and such or whatever. But they don't tell them who to get in touch with. Now this one's interesting because this is in 1966, right? But it says, sir, for the past 20 years, the United States has been having an increase in the problem of the UFO or flying saucers. But that takes it back to 66, 20 years, 46. You know what I mean? The Air Force has maintained that the sightings have been gas, light, weather, etc. But by talking to some of the people that have seen UFOs, I'm wondering if the Air Force isn't lying. Oh God, I wish these people was alive now. The report recently about the police officers in Ohio or Penn have serious family trouble as well as being ridiculed by people because of his sightings, along with a few fellow police officers of a UFO. See, you know, I mean, they got ridiculed for saying they saw this and whatever. And I feel so bad for them. Again, in response to the inquiry, the policy of this Bureau regarding the investigation of unidentified flying objects has not changed since I wrote to you. You know what I mean? So tell them it would have been nice if they said we could direct you to get in touch with such and such. You know what I mean? But they don't. The FBI was no help to these people at all. 1960. This would have been 64 because this is dated 66, but she says about 2 years ago or so, I wrote to you and asked you, to the best of my recollection, why agents of the FBI investigate reported landings of unidentified flying objects and whether data regarding their findings were available. You replied saying that agents investigate these cases to determine whether any federal law had been broken and that their findings were confidential, as were all other FBI records. So the FBI were investigated reported landings of unidentified flying objects, right? And they're saying that they're doing an investigation into these cases to determine whether any federal. Well, I'm so just. How would an alien spaceship or any alien who knew they had broken any federal law. How stupid is that? You know what I mean? Oh, we can't go down there, we're going to break a federal law. They wouldn't know that shit. So that's the stupid reply, saying that agents investigate these cases to determine whether any federal law had been broken. You parked on a yellow line. You landed your ship on a yellow line, a double yellow line, by the way. How stupid are some of these? So, what else is there? Yeah, the FBI will only conduct an investigation to see if they broke any federal law. In response to your inquiry, the FBI has not conducted an investigation, as you mentioned, in as much as this will not come within our investigative jurisdiction. The presence of an agent was simply to determine whether or not any violation had occurred. Oh my lord. This is how stupid this is. And I bet people just thought, oh, okay. No. How are an alien supposed to know that they've broken a federal law? Please, someone tell me. My kids know me, they aren't premature. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just watching chat. That's why I need to get another screen up so I can have the chat. Shit. Oh my god, I thought there was someone behind me then. I caught out the side of my eye on my phone. I saw an image behind me on my phone. And I thought there was a guy behind me. And I'm thinking, shit, there's a guy right behind me. And I've turned around and it's a TV. It's my TV. And there's me thinking there's some strange guy standing behind me in my house. How did you get in? Although I appreciate your motive prompting you to write me, unidentified flying objects do not come within the scope of our only if they believe they've broken any federal law. Come on, people. Don't write to the FBI because unless they're broken any federal laws, they're not going to investigate. The men in black, Angela. I'm sorry, you can't park your ship there. You're breaking federal law. You need to move that obstacle, that vehicle, that funny shaped thing, out the way. You cannot park it there. How stupid. And yet people would believe that, you know. If I had a letter off them now, say I reported something to the FBI, which I wouldn't, but say I did, and I had a letter saying they was only out there because they was just seeing if there's broken in with federal laws, I'd be going, I really got to get new batteries. It's not tax return away. Oh, Lord. You know what I mean? This is how silly these replies are. it's like they do, like people are writing to them, just tell them, look, we'll send it on to the necessary people. Thank you for contacting us. Don't make up some stupid, unless they violate some law. They violated some laws. Trafficking. If they zapped some people up off the planet into their little ships, or big ships, whatever, and then zoomed across the planet, they've took them across federal lines. So there, they have broke federal lines, yeah? Yeah, they've broke federal law by zapping people up and taking them across federal lines, county lines, state lines, you name it. Now, this one sort of got me. He's a police chief, right? And he says, hi, I've been police chief of Princeton, VA, for a number of years and have been a member of that department for 22 years. It goes, sir, I mention the above so that you will not think an idiot is writing. That is what they've thought of these people who was writing to them. Idiots. Crackpots. Nutcases. And they fobbed them up. Yeah, we saw there was an FBI agent there, but he was just making sure they hadn't broken any federal laws. Yeah. Because we can't have them breaking any federal. Oh, get the fuck. Get the fuck. You know what I mean? Again, it's just letters. I wonder if this person got his information for his science fair project. He probably got some photos sent to him, posters. Yeah. See, a lot of them letters, they just get typed up again. You know what I mean? What's this one saying? At 4:10 a.m., January the 18th, 1967, James C. Collins, 212 Sham Drive, Chesapeake. Oh, we know that place. Chesapeake, Virginia. Advised that he desired to report that he had observed a large oblong-shaped object which alighted in the street in front of him when he was on his way home from his television repair shop. The Oak Grove TV 6424 Great Bridge Road, Chesapeake. It recalls as being made of a glass-like substance and being transparent. It was manned by several individuals who appeared to be undersized creatures similar to members of the human race, probably not more than 4 feet tall. They were allegedly wearing regular trousers, pants, and t-shirts. Collins believes that he was transported by this craft for an undetermined distance and returned to his point of takeoff approximately 1 hour later. Collins spoke in a coherent manner, although he appeared to be under certain emotional strain. He claimed he had not been drinking any intoxicants, but he was unable to account for the time between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. He stated he was telephoning from his workshop, but had no recollection of being elsewhere between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. Hold on, I just said there that you brought back an hour later, but now it's saying 8, 19, 11, 12. You was 8 hours there. You know what I mean? In that time there, that's 8 hours. But he's saying he was approximately 1 hour later. So that doesn't make sense. This is very hard to read. This is very hard. But I'd like to be able to read it, so I can't, it won't let me do a screenshot. So I can't get a screenshot. But that seems interesting read, so I'll just leave it on the screen for a few minutes, so if you lot can get screenshots, I'll go back to the beginning one. Alright, I'll go very slowly, right? If you can get screenshots, please do so if you want to enhance it a bit better so you can read it better. Or just go to the War Department, US, and then click on the UFO section, and it brings all these files up. I might actually put the link in the description when I upload it. What's saying, chat? So let's finish because it hurts my eyes. I have to strain to read that. You may be interested to know that we have learned from a delicate source that J.J.A. Hennessy, claiming to be an associate member of the area phenomena, has been in contact to in mid-April 1967. See, the blank some stuff out on this. Then we've got maps, which is very, very hard to make. You know what I mean? It looks like it's showing some sort of saucer. You know what I mean? Over some land. April, and furnish the following information related to an object presently referred to as unidentified flying object. He allegedly photographed during November 1944. See, he photographed a flying object in 1944. Sometime during 1943, he graduated from the German Air Academy and was assigned as a member of the Luftwaffe on the Russian front. Near the end of 1944, he was released from his duty and was assigned as a test pilot to a top-secret project in the Black Forest of Austria. During this period, he observed the aircraft described above. It was saucer shaped, about 21 feet in diameter, radio controlled, and mounted several jet engines around the exterior portion of the craft. It further described the exterior portion as revolving around the dome in the centre. He said he was able to obtain a negative of a photograph it made at 7,000 metres at 20,000 feet. Xerox copy of the negative, as furnished by Pell, appears on the last page of this communication. Also, a still photograph he allegedly made at the risk of my life. What? Hold on. Also, a still photograph he allegedly made at the risk of my life, illustrating the object parked in a hangar, appears on the last page. See, I haven't got the time to read every document that is in here. Yeah, I told you it goes back to the 40s. The other day. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Hold on, let me turn my fan off. Oh. There's my fucking button. Thank you. I had my fan on the other day and that's when my grandson's going, I want to sit at your laptop, Gran. Why? Because you got the fan on. Are you hot? Yeah. Okay. You're into him. 82 years. Yeah. 82 years. This has been going. Yep. So, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if there's some in the 20s, 1920s, 1900s even. But then people then would have just been locked up in the asylum. You know what I mean? Oh, that loopy, lock them up. Lock them up. They're going around saying they're seeing this flying thing in the sky. Lock them up. So, we just go back. Again, just more. Thank you very much for your letter, blah, blah, blah. It's all the same. They don't, that's annoying when they have taken their time out to send you this information that they've got. And all you can do is either fob them off, especially if they say, we've seen an FBI in the area where we saw this sighting. And you're fobbing them off with, well, they're just out there just to make sure they didn't break any federal law. And, or if they're just writing in saying, we've seen this blah, blah, blah. Well, we're not really, the FBI is not in charge of the UFOs. We're just the investigation. Well, that's what they want you to do, investigate. That's what I'm writing to you, because they want you to investigate their sightings. You know what I mean? Not to be fobbed off. So this serial armada of UFOs is shown in impressive formation in the cloudless sky, shown to photograph experts. Where? Where are we looking at? Fist of colour film exposed from a speed train travelling from. Oh, right. Wow. If you saw a spaceship or a UAP, what would you do? I'd get a big sign saying, "Me up, please. Take me, please, please take me." What would you do if you saw a UFO or UAP? Let me know. Right back. Just gotta go somewhere. Oh, you're sleeping now, are you? I'm back. Right. I took a video of both. Okay. I'd probably stand there staring, saying, "I knew it was true." But you see, right, it gets me because they say they could be. I don't think if there's. I do believe there's another form of life, right? Are they going to hurt us? I don't think so. We're doing that. We're killing ourselves anyway. You know what I mean? So they're just sitting back and watching. They're not here to hurt us. But because we don't know what they want, because there's no way of communicating with them, they feel threatened by them. You know what I mean? They feel threatened by them. The government feels threatened by them. Every government feels threatened by anything they can't control. Right? They can't control these sightings because they don't know why they're coming, why they go to certain areas, particular certain areas. Right? They're watching you. That's all they are doing. So I'm not worried about them. Our governments are doing worse than what they could do. Um, well, 90 of 184. So I got another odd pages to go. Told you. Everyone, if you see a spaceship, a flying object, do not tell the FBI. Because they don't investigate. Unless they're breaking, if they're checking just to see if they broke any federal law. And they have really, because if they're taking anyone up into their spaceships, they're speeding along with them, God knows where. So they're going over county lines, state lines, borders. That's trafficking. So this gets me. Look how many people have seen these documents. Because they've all dated this October the 2nd. October the 2nd there. So in one day, they've gone through several people in the FBI. Marked with an X. Let's see what the picture is if they shows the picture. Mark. Oh, yeah. I'll zoom out. I'll zoom out a bit. You know what I mean? What the hell is that? That's supposed to be an alien. Oh, I can zoom back in a bit more. A young white female who refused to give her name appeared at the Dallas FBI office in October 9th, 1967. She stated she is interested in unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and has received a quantity of information concerning beings from outer space. She stated she will not reveal her identity as she will feel like a fool if this information is not true. She stated if it is true, however, she will meet with interested officials and furnish all the information she has, provided nothing is done to endanger her safety. Ooh, what was her name? I'd love to find out her name. Why? Because she's a goner. She's a goner. If that has had any information. But you know what? They probably say no, it doesn't hold any info. It's got nothing. Right? And then keep that information to themselves. They just fob her off. See, it's a repeat of a lot of things here. Why have we got a repeat of these letters? She stated she fears for her life if it becomes known she's contacted officials as persons who saw UFOs have died system mysteriously in the past. stated if Air Force officials want to contact her, she can be reached by message to a telephone number she has given an FBI agent and will meet officials. So other people who've seen this information before she's contacted the FBI have died mysteriously. She's a goner. Well, she would be now anyway. I'm writing this in regard to a report that the FBI had captured a source of... My name is Glenn Evans. I work for the United Saucer Hunter Organization. I'm writing this in regard to a report that the FBI had captured a saucer occupant. This was published in a Flying Saucer mag, along with a photo of two alleged FBI agents and a saucer occupant. Is this true? Does the FBI really have a saucer man? They're not going to tell you, love, even if they did. They're not going to tell. Although sisters matters pertaining to unidentified flying objects are not within the jurisdiction. Fobbing them off all the time. You send them information and they was keeping that information and they was fobbing them off. You know what I mean? And that's disgusting. I observed in the sky at Morristown, New Jersey, an unusual object and its unusual behaviour. On December the 8th, 1963, just 24 hours later, Alton, Maryland, a Pan American aircraft with 73 passengers and a crew of 8 perished when this aircraft exploded in mid-air and crashed. Ooh. So she observed something on December the 7th, and on December the 8th, there was an American aircraft with 73 passengers and crew of 8 perished when this aircraft exploded. Wow. I sent a tape recording of the observation I made on December the 7th to Mr. J. Edgar Hoover and associate this object with the crash of this plane. Mr. Hoover informed me that the Civil Aeronautics Board was investigating this disaster, and what I had sent to his would be forwarded to them. In the month of March 1965, the CAB released a report that this accident, of course, was due to lightning strike. Now, I was thinking this the other day as well. It's just how my mind works sometimes. You know when we have thunder and lightning? Yeah? And I think it was because of the film War of the Worlds. Right? With Tom Cruise. Is it Tom Cruise? Yeah. Right? And they have these lightning strikes coming down continuously in one spot. And they are transporting the people down from these spaceships down in lightning strips. And I thought, could that be what could be happening here when we get lightning? But we don't get lightning in the same spot. If we was to get lightning hitting the same spot, I would be going, holy crap, here it comes. Take me with you, please. I mean you no harm. Just get me off this planet because I want to get off this train. This crazy train. Right? So, And it's like you got a lot of these volcanoes now starting up, haven't we? I've been reading about that, listening to that. A lot of volcanoes are now coming alive and erupting again. And I'm thinking, do you know we've got there's one in Dundee, and there's one in Edinburgh as well. And in Edinburgh it runs, the castle in Edinburgh. Yeah. Well, there's a manhole at the bottom of that castle. And if you lift that manhole up and open it, you can see and I'm not lying here, there's a documentary done on it. And this person got someone, an official, to open the manhole up and you could see the lava running below. And that is no word of a lie. You could see the lava running below the castle of Edinburgh. Everything said in this live or in chat is, in my opinion, allegedly or speculation. It's just pure mental, crazy thoughts to reflect on this creator or the channel. Not yeah, this creator is just magged enough as it is. You don't need all this other crap. But honest, if you go to Edinburgh, and actually, if you stand on that, I don't know where this manhole is now, but I did go to it. I went to Edinburgh once and I went to the park, which is at the bottom of the castle. There's the park, and if you stand on that manhole, you can feel the heat coming from it. And all around the bottom of that castle in Edinburgh, yeah, when it snows, it doesn't settle around the bottom of that castle. Just a thought. Wish I could find that documentary now, because Russia is well aware of this first thing, and we know about Russia. Dear Mr. Stewart, the object you saw was a bright meteor, sometimes called a fireball or a bolide. Almost all very bright meteors are small bodies moving in orbits, rather likely orbits of asteroids, and probably are fragments of asteroids. The direction of motion of your meteor is consistent with that sort of orbit. A good many bright meteors strike the Earth each day, but most go unnoticed. Yeah, because most of them burn up in the atmosphere anyway. We have received another report of the same meteor from Wilmington, Delaware. Fob them off. Come on, fob them off a bit more. There's another one to the list. Right? If there's no FBI agent there, then it's the FBI don't investigate it, or it's a meteor. Or if you see a report of an FBI agent in the area where there was a sighting, then it's just to make sure they didn't break any federal laws. I get so mad sometimes when I read some of these pieces of work, how they're just fobbing them off. That's very hard. My letter dated January the 28th, 1965, J.A. Whatever. Wrote to you, making whether it is the usual procedure for the FBI agent to investigate reports of... No, it's not their investigation. No, they're going to fob you off, mate. The letter from you and Stephen Smith and Gary Hargrove was received. The investigation of unidentified flying objects is not and never has been a matter. You know what I mean? Just fobbed them off every fucking time. And the fact that police officer said, I told you that information about above because I didn't want you to think I was some nutcase. It was sure that not only the US Air Force was involved. Oh, wow. This one says, this says, in approximately 7 months or January 1972, certain copies of top secret documents shall be sent to the New York Times as well as the other newspapers. These documents are related to and will be an ostentation of the involvement of the Pentagon in the controversial unidentified flying objects or flying saucer subject. It will show that not only the US Air Force was involved in the UFO research, but the other military branches as well. Analysis and the actual conclusion of the classic UFO cases shall be revealed. This shall be accomplished in Xerox documents and photographs that General Wolf had received when he had head of the Army's UFO support program in the Pentagon during the Eisenhower years. Sorry, but it's concluded that this is the best course to take because we feel that the secret UFO investigation are parallel in nature to the Times Pentagon Vietnam controversy. If we are wrong in taking this action, this will tell. I wonder how long that person lived. You know what I mean? Again, just another fob off. But at least they sent letters out to him saying blah, blah, blah. Please like your opinion on UFOs, whether or not you think they exist or not. Sincerely, Mary Beth Martin. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Someone else even looked at these documents since they've been released. Because not many people are talking about them. I've noticed that. Now all files from FBI cases being put out that they told us for years didn't exist. And we're okay, all this stuff isn't on my bingo card. Oh. Was listening, just had to clean up milk leakage all in fridge. Oh no. I just think it's a distraction. This is definitely a distraction for some that they don't want us to know about. I don't think whatever it is has got anything to do with UFOs. I really don't. Yep. I do. I sometimes think that this lightning and thunder we get, is it through UFOs? Unidentified objects going through or coming through the atmosphere, you know what I mean? It just makes me wonder. Right, well, that was the first one, okay? So we're going to look at the second one. Oh, oh, got my legs. Just stand up a bit. Just my legs. Oh my God, it's still opening up. Come on. Got to see, you have to download them each time, but they don't go onto your hardware, onto your laptop, unless you save it. So that's a good thing. None of these go onto my tablet unless I save it. I'd like to find the file of the videos in, but God, I'd have to go through every fucking file to find them. Again, we just got envelopes, dates and transfers number, memorandums. So, hold on, what does one say? Letter to Bureau, 1947, August the 13th. Miss Joyce McFarland, the address, upon interview by Special Agent Williams, stated that the event in question occurred at about 7:30 on the evening of Sunday, August the 3rd. She said she was in the house when Casella or Truex called to her. She went out immediately and pointed out the object in question. She saw it just before it disappeared over the horizon, but she declared that it was in view from that time for approximately 1 minute. She said it was round and silver blue in colour and appeared to be revolving. She said that she did not recall making any comment that it might have been a bird, and herself had no idea of what it could be. In view of the distance from which she noticed it, she said that it could not have been more than 6 inches in diameter, but would have been much larger if she had been nearer to it. Miss McFarland said that she had never seen anything like it before. She said that across the street, the Booths, mother and daughter, were the only people sitting on the porch, and she herself did not notice anyone pointing towards the object in question. The only other person around to her knowledge was Gloria Truex, sister of William Truex, who remained in the house and did not see the object at all. Well, sometimes people don't say, "Oi, get out here now," because by the time they've got the chair, done whatever they're doing in the kitchen, put it down, the tea towel down, whatever, and gone out the back door or the front door, it's gone. Right? She said that across the street. Oh, hold on, we've read that bit. Hold on. Mrs. Winfield S. Booth stated that she was on the porch on the evening in question with her mother, but did not notice any unusual object in the sky, nor had any man been present there to point out the object in question. The following information was received from Truex through interview by Special Agent T. Harold Waldron. I thought they didn't investigate these things. Private William A. Truex, blah blah company, whatever, 2nd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, 9th Division, Fort Dix, New Jersey. Forrest was born April the 12th, 1930, Jersey City, New Jersey. And they complete 8.5 years and completed 8.5 years of school. 8.5 years of school. God. He enlisted in the 1988 Wales Avenue. He enlisted in the United States Army on May the 29th, 1947. So he was 17 when he. No, 30 to 40. Yeah, 17 when he enlisted. A baby. His mother is Miss Square, blah, blah, blah. He was standing outside the home of his girlfriend. I'm not going to read the address. Who is his sister's fiance. He said that he and Casella were looking at the radio antenna on a home near the 478 when they noticed an object about 2 to 3 feet in diameter moving rapidly about 200 yards off the ground. Now that's quite close to the ground. Right? But when he noticed there was no wind and the object had no strings to it, he decided it was something else. He stated the object was moving in a steady, straight path going north, and he said there was no exhaust or indication of any motive power for the object. They observed the object for 15 or 20 seconds. It could not give a description of the object's colour or the material it was composed of, but said it looked like a large flat child's cup than anything else he could think of, as the object was oval on the top and came to a point on the bottom side. Said that Casella stated maybe it's a flying saucer. He said he'd never seen anything move through the air quite like this object, and he had no idea where it came from. Truex stated that neither he or Casella had anything to drink, and there was sufficient light for them to observe the object very clearly. So that's what I said. When people was reporting these things, they was probably going, okay, how much did you have to drink? What was you smoking? Was you on that wacky tobacco? Come on. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I could say that. And they'd probably say, well, I did have about 10 points and I did have a wacky tobacco. And yeah, I was quite out of it. So it just annoys me when people, when they have to mention that they hadn't had anything to drink. Well, I don't know what the legal age was then back in 1947 for drinking. Flying disc. Information received from the Dow Chemical Company that on July the 10th, 1947, Raymond Edward Lane, an employee of the chemical company since 1922, brought some material to the physics laboratory. It stated that about 5:15 p.m. July the 9th, he and his wife, Laura, were walking in the field when they heard a puff noise about 100 feet away. They turned and saw a ball of white about the size of a bushel blanket burning approximately a foot off the ground. The fire died out immediately, and later Lane scooped up a 3-inch area of fused sand into a can for examination at their lab. Upon interview, the FBI agent Raymond told substantially the same story, but Miss Lane was reluctant to talk and very indefinite about what happened. You know what I mean? I don't blame them for not wanting to talk. But all these people are now being vindicated. Their grandchildren, their children, and their grandchildren. Your great-grandparents or your grandparents, great-grandparents are vindicated. Because what they saw was true. Mm-hmm. So, oh, sorry, I'm not sharing it, am I? I thought you would share it automatically. Sorry. You only had 2 glasses of wine. Only? Only 2 glasses? Are you sure about that? But that's how they look at people. You know what I mean? Question them. Had you had anything to drink? No, sir, we hadn't drank anything. And I could quite believe it in 1947. They didn't go out to the pubs like that at 17. Christ, wasn't there a watching game going on as well around about 1947 in the US where they couldn't get alcohol? You're just getting started. Oh, God. I can't wait. I've got another, what, 4? Another year, 18 months. Hopefully, I'll be took off all this medication and I can have a fecking drink. Like at Christmas, my daughter's finding drinks for me. I could have like gin and tonic that was alcohol free. And so I tried it and I said, it's okay if you like lemonade. She said, really, Mum? I said, yeah. It's just like drinking lemonade. There's nothing to it. No taste to it. I said, okay. But it's, you know what I mean? It's like, you can have 1 glass of wine, Mum, with Christmas dinner. I can't, babes. I can't. Last time I had a drink, I was only on 1 tablet a day. I'm on 2 tablets a day now. And that time, I literally slid down the wall, then crawled into my grandson's bedroom. You know what I mean? And now on the floor in there until I got up into... I don't know how I got up into his bunk. Because he had one of these big cabin beds. I don't know how I climbed up there. I don't even know how I got off it. But I did. So... I'll have to ease myself in slowly with about at least 2 bottles of wine. I'll ease myself. But I'm not a wine drinker. I like my gin and tonic. Or my vodka and coke. So... here's one. It is noted that from interrogation of Enid Smith, Smith claims that during the conference on July the 30th, one that jail and Chrisman apparently repeated their false story about the material being fragments of a flying disc, and only on Saturday night, August 2nd, did Down admit that this story was a hoax. So you probably did get people who did want their 15 minutes of fame. That was it, and I watched, other film did I watch the other weekend? Independence Day. Right? When the spaceship entered the airspace of Earth and blew it all up. You don't need to blow us up. We're doing that ourselves. And that's what they're doing. They're just sitting back watching us destroy ourselves. They don't need to come and destroy us. If any scientist gets too close to the truth, it's like, bye-bye, downtime, you're gone. But I've noticed as well, there's still a lot of people talking about say they saw weather balloons. Yeah. There's been a lot of weather balloons about at one stage. Makes you wonder, doesn't it, Michelle? Why say weather balloons? So, but there will be people out there over the years who've sent in or said this or that, and it's just a hoax. Because they just want their 15 minutes of fame. But a lot of them were not. A lot of them were not hoax. And yet they're just being fobbed off. It really annoys me. Especially that one when they come up with that excuse. Well, because you saw an FBI agent there, they was just checking to make sure they hadn't broken any federal laws. What? Yeah, little men with big eyes and the space and the flying saucers breaking any federal. Go fuck yourselves. Sorry. So, when we've had a look at this file, I'll pull the pictures up on my app and we'll have a look at them. So all these are just letters and memorandums. I want the juicy stuff. And as I said, to find it, you've got to go through every file. to get this juicy stuff, because they're going to hide it somewhere in one of these files. They're not going to mark it. This is the file you really want to read. They're not going to mark it up. They're just going to go, throw it in there. Throw that information in that file. Throw that information in that file. You know what I mean? It's so that you give up looking. A bit like me with the Epstein files. Flying disc. 7/26/47. This was found in 1947. Yeah. As I said, you've got to go through every file to find this information, because they're going to bury it somewhere in one of these files. Because otherwise it's just a load of memos and letters from. But you notice the year 47, 1947. Oh look, see all those pictures we've just seen? See all these? This is this. Yeah? See all them? Listen to what they say at the bottom here. I heard they didn't get rid of it. It says, with reference to your letter dated August the 20th, 1947, it is desired that you contact the appropriate army officials. But how do they know who is appropriate? You don't tell them who the appropriate army officials are. And in the event that they are not interested in receiving this alleged flying disc, it may be destroyed. So why did you keep the photos then? Right. You obviously didn't think it was worth anything, so but why did you keep the photos? So I hope they didn't destroy it or get rid of it. What conspiracy is that, Michelle? They're releasing more in 30 days. Yeah, I know. I heard some of that. Some of these information is not being released. Oh, I believe that, Michelle. I believe that. As I said, like, these big companies, they're making a lot of money. It's like that one scientist who's a scientist who's working in the cancer, for into cancer and things like that. They don't want a cure for cancer. They really don't. They don't mind keeping people on medication for years and years and years and years. That affects their body up, right? Put them through chemo or radiotherapy. That affects their body up. They don't mind doing all that because that's the big money coming in for these companies. Yeah? If they had a cure, just imagine. If they had and it's not just one cancer, there's so many different types of cancers. Not like you got lung cancer, but you could have different types of lung cancer. Yeah? So you think if they found a cure for every cancer, then all these companies where I'm getting my medication, who give me my medication, right? They'd go out of business. They'd go bankrupt. Simple as that. So I believe they're never going to find a cure for anything. They can give you the medication to prevent it or to keep it at bay, but they're never going to find a cure. AIDS was around for a long time, millions died, but when they created COVID, shot the AIDS group and said, hey you, can you get cure for this outbreak, not AIDS? Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll tell you now, if they turn around and say, we all need to be vaccinated for this rat thing, I'll go, shove your vaccination up your rear end. Tell you why? Tell you why I believe that I'd say that? Because I had the vaccinations for the COVID. I had them because my son and my daughter was on at me. Mum, you need to go and get them. Mum, you need to go and get this vaccination. So I went and I got them. I had 3 vaccinations. Then, what did I find? Oh yeah, I didn't have COVID. I had cancer. Not thinking much about it. After the operation, I went and had a 4th one. Right? Then I sat there one day after I had my vaccination, like a month or something. I thought, you know what? I really think because this COVID vaccinations have not been tested properly. We didn't know the side effects from them, nothing. And I said to my son, I said, I'd love to know how many people, right, who had these vaccinations have now been diagnosed with some form of cancer. So, exactly. And I'll tell you something else. It was in 2019. I mentioned it before. I've been down to Birmingham, right? I was down there 3 weeks, come back. I was back home up in Scotland for about a week when I had to go back down to Glasgow to meet my daughter and her partner, my son-in-law. And from Glasgow then, we went to Birmingham, yeah? We got there the day before the funeral, stopped one night, come back the following day. I got back to Glasgow quite late when we got back. I got up the next morning. I came home, back to Dundee. I was wiped out, absolutely wiped out. Cold, sniffles, coughing, you name it, right? Thought nothing of it, because I always put myself, whenever I come down to Glasgow, I was always going back with a cold or a sniffle, always. And I said, don't forget, I said, in the last 4 weeks, I've been down Birmingham. I've come home from Birmingham. I went to Glasgow. From Glasgow, then we went to Birmingham. From Birmingham back to Glasgow. From Glasgow back to Dundee. All within days. of me coming back from Birmingham the first time, right? I said, so I just put it down to me being worn down. But I was ill for quite a while, for a good couple of weeks, right? And then it was after the Christmas, well, round about Christmas time, I was hearing about these people in China and whatever dropping down and dying and all this lot. And I still never thought nothing about it. Then in March, we went into lockdown because of all the COVID breakouts and everything. And I went to my son, I said, I think I've had it already. I said, I think I had it in December, December time. Oh, that was it. Then when I come back to Dundee after going to the funeral, that was it. I'd only been at home about a week again when I went back down to my daughter's for Christmas. And that was when I was ill, when I was at my daughter's. I was really quite ill at my daughter's. Right? And then I was down there for about four days or so. Then I come back home, still ill, but thought nothing of it. And it wasn't until January, right? Hold on. Come on. It wasn't until January that it started coming out more about the COVID and people, blah, blah, blah. And I said to my son, I said, I think I've had it already. So, yeah, but you can't, apparently there's one person that was on an island, right? On an island with a few other people or something. And this one person went down with it. How the fuck? Apparently, he'd been on the same plane that was taking some people to the cruise ship. So that means everyone on that plane should have been checked. You know what I mean? Because how come he got it and he's on an island in the middle of fucking nowhere? They had to parachute people in. Yeah, they got to call the population again. My son said it, a few months back now. Before this come out, we was talking about something and he said, they'll come up with something else. We've had COVID, they'll get something else out there. So, but Simon says, and what makes it, have anyone seen the news updates on this? Right? This is the most comical bit about it. You got a coachload of people that have just come off a ship. Yeah? All on this coach with the masks on and the PP and all this lot. The doors wide open of this coach. And then you got a group of people, MPs and whatever, standing outside, just by the door of this coach, having photographs took. No PPP, no masks, nothing. And then you got some people standing there, full PPP and mask. You got some people who just the PPP on, no masks. You got people wearing no masks and no PPP. I'm thinking, if it's that bad, why isn't everyone wearing masks and full PPP? Well, I think I had COVID. I really did because I was quite ill that Christmas, December 9, 2019. But as I said, I just put it down to me travelling back from Birmingham, then because I had to go from Birmingham to Glasgow, then from Glasgow to Dundee. I was back home about a week, if that, before I had to go back down to Glasgow to meet my daughter and her partner to travel by car then. I went by bus down to Glasgow, then to travel by car then down to Birmingham. We was only down there one night. We was there for the funeral, we was there for the wake, then we left. Then we got in the car, drove back home, got back to Glasgow quite late. I get up the next day, I come back home. Right, that's a lot of travelling. Right, I was home about a week before I'm packing again to go down to my daughter's again for Christmas. So I just put it down to me wear and tear. I've been on the go, travelling back and forth, back and forth. You know what I mean? So, is he having radiotherapy, is he? Well, I hope everything goes okay, Anne. I've had radiotherapy. Right? I only had a week's of it, 1 week, and it was a 15-minute session each day. I had to go down to a hotel. They put me up in a hotel opposite the hospital. You walk around from the hospital, the hotel. You could see the hospital from my room. You walk around the hotel, across this little road, you're in the hospital. Right? And then they said, after every radiotherapy treatment, don't just sit down and do nothing. Do something. Go out. Go for a walk somewhere. Keep yourself busy. So I did. I did my treatment, and my daughter was staying with me first from the Sunday to the Wednesday. Right? So she stayed with me Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. And after on the Monday after my first treatment, we went into this little town of Glasgow, the outskirts of Glasgow, really nice area. Then on the Tuesday we went to this big park area, lovely park. Okay, keep yourself busy. So that's what I'd say to you, and tell him after every treatment to do something, keep himself busy. Right? And every day I had treatment, I did something to keep myself busy during the day. I would get back in the afternoon and my daughter would fall asleep on the bed. Same with my son. We get back in the afternoon because we always got lunch on the way home. And he'd fall asleep on the bed. I'm going, who's the one who's ill here? Who's the one who's having all this treatment? And them two were snoring their fucking heads off all afternoon. There's me sitting there with me doing my diamond art. I took my diamond art with me, I did. Took my lamp with me, put it all in my case, set it all up in the room. And I used to sit there doing my diamond art in the afternoon. Then we go down for our evening meal. Right? And then some nights we didn't have anything in the hotel. We'd have to go down into the little town area. And we'd get a chippy, have a walk around again. Yeah, it's tough on the body, tell me, Barry. Tell me, Barry. It's very tough. But it's good that he's not having to have chemo. Right? I didn't have to have chemo. But people go, oh, radiotherapy is nothing. Have you had radiotherapy? You know what I mean? Have you? You're sitting there saying radiotherapy is nothing. Have you had it? But it is tough on the body. It weakens the immune system. He's not doing much sleeping all the time at the moment. And the hospital is giving him counselling. Okay, that's good. But try and get as much time he needs to get, like, I must admit, I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping either. Right? And because I wasn't sleeping, I was a bit ADHD. I'd start one job, then someone would catch my eye and think, oh, I've got to do that. And I'd go off and do that job. Then while I'm doing that job, someone else would catch my I'd go to the toilet and I think, oh God, I've got to clean the bath. And I'd be cleaning the bath and then, oh sugar, I've got to go. I never ever got a job in my house finished. I'd get up in the morning and go to the shops. So I'd get my clothes out the wardrobe. I'd place them on my bed. 3 hours later, because I think, oh, hold on, I've just got to do this, got to do that. 3 hours later, I'd go back in my bed. Oh, shit, I'm supposed to go to the shops today. So then I'd get dressed, but then it would take me another hour after getting dressed before actually getting out the fucking door. Because I was eating everywhere. I couldn't concentrate on one thing. Plus, the fact that I had tendencies of wanting to slap stupid people. So they put me on, what was it? The tablet. One tablet is letrozole. I have to take that every day for 5 years. And this one is mirtazapine. It's supposed to help me sleep. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, I wasn't sleeping much, so they put me on mirtazapine to help me sleep. And it was horrendous because I'd be up till like 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. And I'd literally have to force myself to go to bed for just an hour or so. But then they put me on them and I was taking them every night at 10 o'clock, and by 12 o'clock, because I'd sit there at 10 o'clock, right, and I'd start chilling out around about 10 o'clock onwards, just sitting there watching TV, and that's when the tablets would kick in. But radiotherapy, it's a killer to the body. It does weaken the immune system, so you can't afford to have people around. I say to my family, if you've got a cold, do not come to me. Because a cold to you is what? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days at the most. A cold to me is 3 to 4 weeks. I'm laid up in bed, on the sofa, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm laid up for weeks. So I have got some hand gel. I'll tell you now. I'm tempted to put it by my back door and say, hand gel. Use that hand gel. But I'm not having no more injections, no more vaccinations. I don't even have the flu jab. I really don't know more. I haven't had the flu jab since the last time I had the flu jab, literally 2 weeks after having it. And I wouldn't mind when they gave me the flu jab, right? Listen to this. I only had the flu jab. There's like a little cafe in the same complex as where my doctor's was. So we thought, oh, we'll go and get a cup of coffee. And I'm sitting there while my husband's up at the counter. I went, Vince. I went, what? I went, my arm. And you could see this plaster they put on, and all my arm was just red with blood. My arm was bleeding. And I was going, oh my God, oh my God. So I had to go back over to the doctor with my hand up in the air so that the blood would hopefully stop circulating to my arm. And I get there and I went, oh, that's nothing. I went, pardon? Pardon? You just gave me the flu jab and I'm bleeding. How is that nothing? So after that, I never went back for another jab. No. But it does, it knocks you, and people, my family just look at me going, don't be stupid, Mum. Well, not my daughter so much, but my son, don't be stupid, Mum. They've come over here many times, I'm going, have you got a cold? Yeah, fuck off. Get out. I can't afford to get that cold. It knocks me off my feet for weeks. Oh, you'll be fine. No, I won't. I won't. Even when I come off this medication, radiotherapy has weakened my immune system. Then after all I say, well, you should have the flu jab then, Mum. You jab me with anything else and I'll jab you up your fucking ass. With my right foot, you know what I mean? I'm not having no more jabs. Not flu jabs, not COVID jabs, not nothing. So, let's have a look at these pictures that we got. I'm going to take this off because we can always take a little look at this. Hold on, I'll open up my other app. Let's open up my other app. And we'll have a look at these pictures that we've got. So I'll turn my tablet now while I'm waiting for this to open up. Desktop. Now this one I'm going to show you. A minute when it opens up. Oh, I've just got to get this sharing with you. But I won't tell, I will not have no more jabs. They can shove it up their ass. Simple as that. Because I really think that was not tested enough and they're scaring people into having these jabs. I wish I hadn't had them. I really do, because I said I think I had COVID. So my body was automatically had the immune built up against it already. Right, this picture from the notes I give with it, it's like what someone described to them. It's like they said there was a light, a bright light, and this round oblongly shape come with a metal glass, whatever shape come out of it, and then disappeared again within seconds. And that's what the impression they gave this artist was like a bright light, this oblongly circular thing, oval circular thing come through it, and then disappeared within seconds. They don't. They don't, Anne. I don't want to know what the list of ingredients was in the COVID jab, because I know I would just like to know how many people who've had the COVID jabs have been diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, if people start panicking. But you see, I think a lot of people have learnt from last time. A lot of people I know now won't have these jabs no more. It's like my son. He had the jabs. Oh yeah, what's he had in the last couple of years? Yeah, a stroke. My daughter, she had the jabs. What does she has? She's got heart problems. You know what I mean? She's on medication for the rest of her life now because of it. My son will probably be on medication for the rest of his life. And then what? 35 and 33 years old. There goes the story. Fly again. Oh my Lord. That was stupid. I'm sorry, but that was just so stupid that people were going for the What? Are you going to have diarrhea? You know what I mean? Come on. So, me, I'll just go and do my. Like, I've got to do a big shop this week when I go shopping. When I get my money. I've got to go and do a big shop because now Angela's not here. I can fill my freezer back up because she was using 2 compartments and I was using 2 compartments. So now I can go and get my pizzas, my chicken burgers, my beef burgers, my buns, right, which I keep in the freezer because I don't eat enough of them, right? My burger buns and my chicken breast, my mince, my stewing steak, things like that. I can fill my freezer up again, get the pizzas for the kids, boom, chips, fries. No, don't say that, they're not, are they? Just go on TikTok, you can order a load of them. I know a few people who found out they have cancer, and someone I knew who was healthy had the jabs. He passed. Exactly. So they can keep the jabs and shove them up the rear end because I'm not having any more. It's like when I had to go in for my operation. I know they have trouble finding veins in my arm. They really do. But they must have hit this vein really good because within seconds, it's like, I'm gone. All I noticed was the room went a bit dizzy, boom, I'm gone, I'm out. Because they said to me, they said, is anything you want to ask us? And I said, see them doors? I said, yeah. I said, just make sure you bring me back out of them. That's all I want. That you bring me back out of them doors and put me over there in that bay. So, I don't know how long I was down there for. I know I woke up at one stage and then and said, you're okay, Mrs. Ravenhill. We'll be taking you up to your ward very soon. And then I don't remember much else after that. And then I remember waking up and being took up to my ward. Yeah. What I must admit, I am not going to lie here. What I did like about the COVID and about the lockdown, the only good thing about it was that I could go for my 1 hourly walks, yeah, and you could hear the birds singing at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and 3 p.m. in the afternoon, right? You could hear the birds singing, the air seemed cleaner, there was no cars about. You could walk down a flipping main road and know that you're safe, that you weren't going to get hit by a car. Because if there was a car, you'd see it coming in plenty of time. But you could walk down the mountain and you could hear the birds singing in the afternoon. And that's the only thing I did like. And then when they brought out, opened up all the roads again and all the businesses, right? And I found it very hard at first because everyone was saying you have to pay by card. But I always use cash. You have to pay by card now. So I got used to paying by card, right? And now, literally from 2021, around about 22, 23, they start saying, you got to start paying cash again. What? Hold on, you're telling us we got to pay by card. I've got used to paying by card now. I'm not paying by fucking cash. I don't have cash on me. It's all in my bank account. I use my phone or my bank card. I do not use cash. alcohol and toilet paper. But no, it's ridiculous. So let's have a look at another one. So this picture is like a picture that of a description of what someone told them. That's all. Right? Some of them are very hard. That's why I'm going to use this app. Like, to have a look at some of these pictures because you've got to zoom in on them to really see what you're looking at. Now on this one, you can actually see it there, where my mouse is, right there. In fact, let's do a bit of draw tool. It's right there. Right. That one wasn't so hard to, you know what I mean? So bring up another one. Mother Nature resetting the scales. No. This is government controlled again. Government controlled again. My son said it months ago. They'll bring out another one, Mum, because they're going to need to. COVID obviously didn't take enough of us. You know what I mean? And something I heard someone say today about this rat one. She said, well, I got through COVID. There's still some of us left. Perhaps this one will take us all. You know what I mean? People are not interested in it. And after what I saw today, where people are standing there with no PP on, no masks on, right next to people who've come off a ship, you know what I mean, doing a photo op. Oh, look, there's them lot all masked up there, but we'll take a photo. Go get your fuck. Right, now this one, this picture here, I'm not sure what we're looking at. I'm not sure if it's there. It's not these two blue dots, I know that much. Because that's north. Where am I? Right? Is it this? See, that's just the camera. These little blue things are from the camera. So is it this or is it this? And if it's that, why have they blacked it out? Oh, I know the government would. I know they would. They didn't take enough of us last time. As I said, I don't go out anywhere to really meeting. So if it does come to the fact, like as just said, you've got to wear a mask when you go. Okay, I put a stupid fucking. I was going to bing them all, but now I'm not. I've got my masks still. I was going to put them all in a frame because I had some really nice ones. Right, some really nice. I had one which is black, and on this I had it a 5D, a diamond art one, and I did a diamond art design. There was a design you could do on it, and I love that one. So I might sort that one back out, give it a bit of a wash, hand wash, disinfect it because it's been in a cupboard drawers for the last 4 years. But yeah, my son said, "Oh, I'll come up with a new one, Mum," and they have. But you see, people aren't falling for it no more. Not when you got people standing around with no masks on. Oh, let's have a look at this one. Mhm. Again, I don't know what we're actually looking at here. Is it this down here? Is this what we're looking at here? I think that's what we're looking at down there. So, beam me up, yeah. It's called a gel. That's a black blob in my photo too. It's called a jellyfish UFO. But I think this one here is what we're looking at down there. Just have a good look, see what you can see. Oh, got my legs. Oh, my legs. I was just wondering, Mr. Alien Man, if you're listening and you can see what I'm doing, if you beam me up, can I get some new legs? Because these are fucking killing me. So, we got that one down there. There's one which looks like a helicopter. I've got to admit, I'll show you that one. Hold on. It looks like a helicopter. Mm-hmm. I can't find it now. I know it's in this file somewhere. Yeah. That one? No, these are like the two little black blobs. Them are quite easy to see, them ones. Trying to find the one with the helicopter. It really does look like. No. It could be that one. No, but we'll look at this one anyway. Again, I don't know what we're looking at here, so I'm going to zoom in. Oh, I see it now. Now I've zoomed in. 1, 2. 2 little white dots. See them? Shaped like a hat. Does look, that one did look like a plane, didn't it? But there's another one that looks like a helicopter. I'll find it for you. Even the psychic said that looks like a helicopter. I can't find which one it is now. I'll find it. It's got 2 little white bits there. Is it this one? No, but you can see that one's clear as day. You can see what they're looking at on that one, clear as day. Right. Why are some white? And why are some black? Right. I know they're taking them on a black and white photo thing. Right. But wouldn't they all come out either white or black? Why is one some white and some black? Right, let's find this helicopter one. I know it's somewhere. I know it. Oh, there's the hot air balloon. There's the weather balloons. Look. Now that looks like a hot air balloon. One of them, whatever they used to call them. Where they'd have like the people sitting in the area around underneath. And this was full of hot helium. They used them in the war, didn't they, these? I got your blue pick fix. Thank you. I tell you, some of these are so blurry, but this one here, it looks like one of them helium balloons that you see in war times. Okay, listen to my email, I'll have a look. Alright, let me just open up and get another one. Ordering open, okay, so it's not that one there. This one. Here it is. Sorry, but that's not an unidentified flying object. I can even tell that's a helicopter. Right, let me just go to my emails. For some reason, your one's come down right at the bottom here. Yeah. It hasn't come through yet. One definitely looks like a helicopter. Doesn't it? It looks like a helicopter, that one. They're trying to fob us off. We know what helicopters look like. We're seeing enough of them. That looks... Even that psychic, Tara, whatever her name is, she said it looks like a helicopter. That ain't a flying, unidentified flying object. Because it's been identified, it's a helicopter. You can see... Hold on, I'll zoom in. You can see the what's the names, whatever they call them. It's a helicopter. You can see the legs of the helicopter there, what they land on. Yeah, underneath. You can see them there. It's a helicopter. Trying to fob us off here. Stop sending pictures, putting pictures in that we know we can identify. We want to see the real UAPs, as you call them. That is a helicopter. Right, let's have a look at this. Another one. This one. I don't know what's in this one. It's very dark. That's all I know. Right. Come on. Right. This one's very dark. So what are we looking at? Oh, I know this one. It's right in the center. That's what we're looking at there. It's right in the center. It looks like a big ant. Or, hold on. No, it looks like two reptiles head to head. There's a head. There's a head. The body, the legs. You know, they go head to head, these reptile, the rhinoceroses and all that lot. It's like one of them. It's like, you know, when I've never done it. I've never had it done, given to me. That test where they give you pictures to look at. And you have to tell them what you see. I'll just be going, a blob. It's just a blob. Blob of paint, a blob of this, a blob of that. You know what I mean? They'd think, oh, fuck. This woman's definitely loopy because she don't see feck all. She just sees blobs of colour. That's why I wanted to put it on my app. Oh, and we'll go back to that one. Let's just go back to that one. That one. You mean this dot here? Possible. Possible. That could be what will... could be that. Because that is definitely a helicopter. Well spotted. I didn't see that. Let's have a closer look at her. No, that is at 892% zoomed in. That's at 1,000% zoomed in. Yeah, that could be what the Apache helicopter above it, yeah. That makes more sense. You know what I mean? Having that helicopter there above it with this thing below. That makes more sense. Wow. So that's that one. Right. Let's have a look at some. Okay, been opened that one. Okay. Hang on, ones that haven't been opened. Here's one. Oh, no, it's been opened, okay. Give me one that hasn't been opened. Now we're looking at what? What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Something over here. What are we looking at? Hang on, what we're looking at here. And this one is taken from a plane or something. So I don't know what we're looking at. Oh, what's that? What's that? I think that's what we're looking at. This. Because I can't see anything else there to be looking at apart from that. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's see. I don't know what we're looking at there. You mate. Top right to cross. Okie doke, let's have a look. Top right to cross. Let's zoom out a bit. So up here. But bottom right. Zoom out a bit. Exactly. Why is photos so crap? You know what I mean? They should be as clear as day. Can you understand if those took in the 40s and the 50s maybe, but even the 60s? But if these are being taken in today's, in the last, since 1980, 1990, the pictures should be a lot better. So, but I wanna go through these files. I'll try and find some with the videos because there is videos in here. Just gotta find them. But I just keep thinking about all those people that were made out to be Fruit Loops, yeah, and fobbed off with the FBI. Don't deal with anything to do with flying saucers, UFOs, and that FBI agent was there because he was just checking to make sure there's no federal laws broken. What crap! But people in that era and that time would believe that. Now if they said that, we go, okay, I've got another leg here. Do you want to pull that one? So it is crap, the photos. Some of these photos are really, really bad. Alright, let's close this down. Is it a crash? I don't know what the hell it was. But actually, I'll go back to this file and it tells you what the photos are. The first file. Just tell you what these photos are. I'm hungry. Gotta get something to snack on in a minute. And then go to bed because I've took my tablet. And my cat's asleep. Well, Toby's asleep in his normal place on the sofa. Bobby's on the back of the sofa. That's his normal place now because he hasn't got the other sofa. No, oh no. Right. I will share this with you because then it describes when you see Bob Laser, Angela. I want to see if you notice something. Okay. Where's that, on YouTube or Netflix or? Right, I'm going to show you these. These is I've got. Does it tell you what they are? I thought it told us what these pictures were. Yeah. So let's have a look at that one. This one, which we're struggling with, right? It says UAP PR43 unresolved UAP report. This is in Africa in 2025. Military operator reported UAP while operating within African airspace. Where? What UAP? Because we couldn't see nothing on there. what I mean? You could not see anything. No, Neil McCaslin isn't around to tell us. I still think they've either gone into hiding, right? I don't believe they self-deleted because of what that Amy said. She said she would not do that. But then again, if she wasn't thinking straight, perhaps she would. Neil McCaslin, I don't understand why he just disappeared. There's no sighting of him. No sighting of him walking down the road. Nothing. And then you got Monica Reza, who just disappeared into thin air. That does not make sense. And I'll be looking at that guy she was with. I think possibly, maybe speculation here. Just a bit of speculation. And my opinion, it could be foul play. Neil McCaslin isn't foul play. I think he's took himself. He's either been picked up by someone. Because if you think that all their phones have been reset, could they have had a message or a phone call come through telling them, leave your phones, reset your phones, leave them in the house, don't do anything you can be tracked on, like your phones, your watches, anything. And we will get to this area and we'll pick you up. So I think they've been took into a hiding because they know too much. They're getting close to something. And the others, they just didn't get to them quick enough to get them moved out. But Amy, she doesn't make sense. She kept saying in that video, that live of hers that she done, that she's got to, what's the name? Right, release. She's got to release some info or a paper. That paper is a paper they didn't want her releasing. Apparently she was warned 3 years ago. And now all of a sudden, boom, she's gone. So, anyway, it is, I've been on here 3 hours. Whew, 3 hours. So I'm going to pick this up where we leave off tomorrow night, everyone. Thank you for being here. Really do appreciate everyone for being here. Let me just close some of these down. Get this back up here. And I will see you all on the next one. Stay safe. Until next time. Good night, everyone. Please, it does really help. And here we go. Bye.
Never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything
do, so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains